Good evening. Not your average grandma, aka Laurie Wright here, or Laurie Wright, aka not your average grandma, however you want however you know me. So I am here and I am wanting to share that it is the last call. It is not the last call for alcohol, but the last call for your second half transformation opportunity. So I wanted to make sure that everyone in my general vicinity, so I'm streaming to my YouTube channel, I'm streaming to my Facebook page, and inside the Facebook group where I had the free training, private Facebook group. So I want to be on and just make sure that you know. And it's funny that the actual deadline is the same as when the bars used to close when I was younger. But this is not about that. This is about signing up for the second half Spark School if that is the next step that you are ready to take. And if you're like, what the heck is the second half Spark School? And if you're joining me, please say hello. I'd love to hear who's here in the comments. So just tell me where you're, I shouldn't say dialing in, but joining from. So where are you joining from? And let me know if you have any questions. If you're like, what the heck? What's the second half Spark School? Then please let me know. So if you want to know what the second half Spark School is, you can go to the link that's on the screen, secondhalfsparkschool.com. All of the details are there, but it is a unique custom designed program by me, a certified master neuro coach that I put together to help women over 50 find new meaning and purpose in their lives so they don't have to go around wondering if all the fun is behind them or if this is it. Because if you're wondering that at all, then you're not living the life you are meant to live. And I struggled for a long, long time searching for something that I knew was missing. All I knew is when I woke up in the morning, I dreaded the job I went to and I was just not feeling like what I did made a difference. It didn't have any value. My to-do list, as I like to say, had the wrong things on it. It had other people's priorities. It had the work that I did that I didn't enjoy. And so I didn't know at the time that I actually was living inauthentically. I was really pretending because well, first of all, I didn't know. And a lot of people don't know that they're pretending. They just know they feel off. They just know something isn't right. And a lot of times it shows up as no energy, no motivation, and just meh. I love that word, MEH. There's even an emoji for it now. We didn't have emojis back when I felt like it. And it just is a great way to describe how you're plodding around your day if you feel like that. And that is a mediocre life. That is not the life. And I think a lot of us, this was me, we convince ourselves that it could be a lot worse. And so we stay in this kind of average lane, accepting that. And it shouldn't be that. It doesn't have to be that. And you shouldn't accept that as your way of life and being. We are afraid to upset the apple cart. We're afraid that people will judge us. We're afraid that people will, that we're afraid of change. Honestly, we're afraid of ourselves. And change is something that our brain avoids because our brain sees change as unsafe. It's the big unknown, scary. Change is seen as bad. So our brain, our human brain, which is like a supercomputer, actually prevents us from taking the steps we need to take. So it's completely normal that you might feel that way. Hi there, Ursel from Oklahoma. So anyways, that is what happens. So your brain is operating the way it should because it's trying to protect you, but we don't have to deal like the caveman days anymore and worry about lions and tigers and bears. What the problem is is that stepping into our true self is like lions and tigers and bears. And it can be uncomfortable to step into and speak your truth. So a lot of the people I work with have been people pleasers, have been, going along to get along, trying to fit in. I think in my life, I didn't have a problem speaking the truth. I thought I had this feeling like, "Oh, I speak up when I have an idea or whatever." What I wasn't speaking the truth about is that I was not happy in the work I was doing, but I kept doing it, and I wouldn't allow myself and I was in a marriage that I wasn't happy in, and I wouldn't allow myself to admit it, so I just became a workaholic to just ignore the whispers of that, "You're not living your best life. You need to do something about it, Lori." And I just didn't wanna face the truth, honestly, but I was lying to myself and keeping myself in that space. So, that's a long explanation for why I created Second Half Spark School. If you've been in the free training, then you know pretty much kind of my story, just not all maybe the details, but, yeah, you kind of know that part of it, and so I'm very, very passionate about what I teach, and it's helped many, many, many women change their lives, and it makes me so happy to see people who came in to the school with sad faces, no hope, thinking that there was something wrong with them and they were the only ones, and get to work on the things we do in the school, which is a lot of unwinding, unlearning, and rewiring what's happening in our brain, and a lot of the lies we tell ourselves because they're things that we've heard in our head and have been whispering to ourselves for years and years and years, which are not true, and they're not serving us because if we had thoughts that served us, we wouldn't be feeling meh. And so I love working with women over 50. I've had women all the way up to almost 80, so a range. And if you think about it, think about somebody who's, in their late 70s. And if these whispers in your head, which started in childhood, have been going on since childhood, think how long that has been. 3/4 of a century if you're in your late 70s and you're thinking, "When I was a child, I was 5." And so, yes, that's a lot of baggage to clean out. Our attic is very full of junk. We need to go up there and clean it out. So, it's not spring cleaning, it's fall cleaning because we're in October. So anyways, hello, Janice. So good to see you. So anyways, I just wanted to get on here and make a couple of announcements. I also wanted to speak to the people in the Facebook group who have been doing the training. I have a couple of updates for you. I'll get to that in a couple minutes, but I first just wanted to go over that the Second Half Spark School enrollment ends in about 8 hours. And for, just so you know specifically, midnight Pacific time. So if you're on the East Coast, you have till 3 AM, midnight, Pacific Coast, and then you could do the math for the other part. Don't ask me because I always it's complicated. I have to, like, write it down and figure it out. So I want you to ask me any questions. Hi, Karen. I want you to feel free to ask me any questions. If you have any questions about what you've learned in the free training or anything about the Second Half Spark School, please let me know. And then I'm going to talk about to the training people also the prizes. So stay tuned. All right. So I do want to real quickly go over the fact that I have a bunch of bonuses. So in the Second Half Spark School, I have 6 modules. I call that the core curriculum. So there's actually modules. There's really 5 because the module One is just kind of an overview of the pillars of the Spark system, which is a formula that I've created that walks you through the proven process to take you from unsparked to sparked, meh to sparked. So the core curriculum is really 5 modules, and there is coaching. So every week we get on a Zoom call, and I am there to coach you. And what is great about these coaching calls is that I mean, you get a chance to really dig deep with me, and you get to witness others who I work with and seeing them transform. And there's something so powerful about being a part of that, because part of it is, you're not the only one, and secondly, we can learn so much from watching other people. And so it's a very intimate program. I don't have a ton of people coming in because, first of all, some people are just too scared to start. And secondly, it's just not big. You will not get lost. I've had people say, I've been on a program and there's been 300 people in there and I never get like any attention. You will get a lot of attention. And so that you don't have to worry about that. I also have a couple of peer mentors. Karen is one and Kim is another, and they are there also to support, which is great. They have that extra support. And that is helpful in the Facebook group because we have a community student Facebook group. All right. I have alumni, but only the people coming in new attend the calls that for the core curriculum. So that's another positive too. So as the student population grows, it's not like the calls get really jam-packed, so you don't have to worry about that. There are bonuses, like I said, so I'm gonna share my screen real quickly and walk through the bonuses because the bonuses are meant to enhance. I don't want you to lose focus by only concentrating on the bonuses, but they're meant to enhance the core curriculum. And so they're there for you as you feel caught up in the core curriculum. You can go and do the bonuses. So let me share my screen real quick. All righty, let me find it. Is that yeah, here it is. I have 2 screens going, so I gotta figure out where I am. All right, so the bonus, first of all, um, they're separated. This is on the page I'm on is the secondhalfsparkschool.com, so you can go and look at this yourself. But there's a using your intuition to guide you. Workshop. Makosi is she's a shaman, spiritual ascension master, but it's about using your intuition. And that is one thing that you're going to learn in the school that probably you don't do very much of right now. And it's really cool. And it's how you connect to that voice that is really the voice you need to hear, not the voice that's coming from upstairs in your head, but the voice that's coming from your heart and deep within. And that is going to be your guide. I'm going to start as your guide but we're going to help that guide come out and you start hearing what you need to hear so you can really understand the truest version of yourself. That's the goal here, for you to reconnect with that truest version of yourself and for you to figure out what it is that is inside of you that is a gift or gifts, because we actually have multiple gifts, and what it is that the wisdom that you've gained over your many, many years here on the planet, what are those lived experiences that you've learned that or the future lived experiences that you want to learn? Because in my case, when I found what I thought was my purpose, I didn't have enough of the skills. I wanted to be a coach. I needed more training. And so what is it that lights you up that you think is why you're here? and you're gonna start to put those pieces together, but you can't put them together until you connect with your intuition, and in so doing, find your true self, which has where you've become detached and disconnected from. So the first bonus helps you do that. The second bonus is Kickstart Your Second Half Spark workshop. And what you'll learn in the second half Spark School is that you have activity DNA. There is actually activity that ever since you were born that you were custom designed for, that you love. And it wasn't anything that your parents forced you into. It was something that just came naturally and you love to do. And so this is our little manhunt to figure out what that is. And these it's a series of exercises which are great. Okay. I have my midlife mindset mastery workshop, and this is one of the core. I have this accompanying workshop, but it's one of the core pieces in module 2. We start off very early learning how to bust those beliefs that are what I call baggage. Just like that, those that old luggage you carry around, you've carried around for years, and you move from house to house, and that luggage is up in your attic and it stays there and it's collecting dust, and that's the stuff. That's the metaphor for what we need to upgrade to our luggage, right? So get rid of that old baggage. So there's a simple three-step process, and I say it's simple. It's simple to learn, but it takes, uh, I guess, diligence. I think it takes accountability. It's something that I find people slack on when left to their own devices. And so it's really a good, it's something you need to learn to rewire those tapes in your head that have been playing for upwards of, well, more than half a century, maybe close to 3/4 of a century, a long time. I have an empty I call it EPIC Empty Nester Vision Board Workshop, showing you how to create the future you want. I don't want you to give up on having a future of your dreams. I find a lot of us, first of all, don't know how to dream because 'cause we're so disconnected from what we want deep down inside. We haven't even taken time to stop and think about it. We're so culturally driven to achieve and also to be busy. And both of those things together push us further and further away unless we're self-actualized, which no one who's taking the Ignite Your Second Half Soul free training is, I guarantee you. And so that is the great thing is to learn how to dream. That's one of the things that you'll do in the Second Half Spark School. And then bonus 5, I did this because to me, relationships are the thing that makes that they could either, uh, make our life miserable or improve the quality of our life. And so we are no matter what, we are human beings having human connections. And when we navigate relationships in a negative way, in a way that, and I'm not saying it's you always, um, you will learn things that will help you. It will change everything and how you communicate with people. And you will, and the difficult people in your life, you'll learn how to communicate better with them. You'll gain some understanding about what's going on. And specific to the whole rewiring your brain, there's tactics that you can learn when you're rewiring that help you, that will change. You don't even have to get the other person to do anything. The relationship with them will change because of the changes that you're doing inside your head. And it's magical the way you start to do the three-step process and you haven't said anything to this person, nothing. They know nothing. They don't even have to know that you're taking any kind of a program. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Your relationship starts to improve. It's all subconscious stuff. And the relationships that we have that can be so much better can be just you making changes. Doesn't have to be the other person. So that's pretty incredible, but I to me, it's really important. I have 2 sons-in-laws, and grandchildren. There's all kinds of different relationships, adult daughters. I mean, they got minds of their own now. I mean, they did when they were younger, but they were easier to influence. So it's so important. And then, neighbors and spouses parents and it's just the list goes on. And then there's the cousins and all the things. The friends from childhood and they married somebody you don't like and you know, the list goes on and on. But if you spend a lot of time with people and the relationship is a little rocky, it's fixable. It's fixable. And you can be the light and lead somebody who's oblivious to a happier existence just by learning what you'll learn in the Second Half Spark School. And then the bonus, this bonus, and there's other bonuses I'll touch on real quick, but the Brain Sparking audio bundle, I have specifically created purpose-driven affirmations. If you're wanting purpose, that is a great thing to have. And then the imagination sparking visualization for the people that were in the free training, it's that 7-minute guided visualization where you meet the future you, and that's really powerful. And if you did it once, you might have done it more than once in the free training. You can do it as many times as you want, and it's great to keep doing it and keep getting those insights and that clarity. The other ones too are the regular bonuses. You get the Ignite Your Second Half Soul workshop, the 7-video workshop. You get that. You get a call with a personality expert, Alex Paulos, who has he can read your personality type, and this is really profound when especially with people who can't see that they're not being authentic or that they're not self-actualized. They're really in self-denial, but it's like I said, it, I was, and I didn't know it. I didn't have a clue, and it can cause health problems. So what you learn in that workshop is amazing. Uh, it's like you're the head emoji that explodes. And then there's 2 other, value there's a abundance, how to live a more abundant life. It's a little mini course that I created. And then there's 2 additional bonuses. One is a health bundle, which I just like because I think we're all looking to improve our health. I really wanna work up here because I think, you need to work upstairs before you can work on the downstairs, because if you work on the downstairs first and the upstairs is not corrected, then you'll slide back into your old habits. The new habits that you've formed by addressing your physical health are temporary, typically, if you haven't changed what's in your head and how you got there in the first place. That's why a lot of people gain weight back and revert back to, um, their unhealthy self, unfortunately. All right. And it's usually the people that have the long-term success. They might have done the physical work first, but in the process, they did the mindset work as well. And then there's also a money mindset workshop, which I'm gonna do live. There is one recorded in the school, but it's very powerful when you have the chance when we have the chance to uncover your specific money beliefs, in a call, and it's digging into and you have them. I guarantee it, whether they're frugal beliefs or whether it's like overspending beliefs or whatever you learned, whoever your model was when you were growing up is likely the way that your relationship with money and how you treat money and how you think about spending money or not spending money. It's all rooted in those same tapes in our head, if you call them tapes, or the baggage in our attic, our upstairs. However, whatever metaphor you're comfortable with, it's all stuff that can be, like I said, unwound if in particular you have a fear of spending money or you have a problem overspending, not spending on yourself for things, spending on other people and neglecting yourself, any of those things, this will help you. It will what we want is for you to have this light bulb go on these things. It's like this awareness that you never had. It's like once you see it for what it is, you can't unsee it anymore. And then that's the first step in fixing it. So that's super powerful. Okay, so that essentially are the bonuses that go the uh with the program. And like I said, the program itself comes with the 6 modules, the coaching calls, and there's 2 options. There's a 6 weeks where we really unlock everything and open up your eyes and get you aware and working. It's kind of like focus on the fundamentals, the foundational learning that you need to learn. And it all happens very quickly. 6 weeks goes by like that. And then if you prefer to like work, there's additional workshops, additional coaching for another 6 weeks if you prefer to continue that journey while you actually implement. You're just kind of in the action mode. The foundational learning, you're enhancing what you've learned by adding on to it. I teach you different modalities. There's breath work sessions we do. There's other cool tapping, crystals, things like that. You might never I've never heard of crystals. Like, what the heck are crystals? So there's a fun workshop, hypnotherapy, human design. There's a lot of other things you can experiment with and try in the additional 6-week part. But, what you the core that's gonna change your everything is that 6 weeks that you learn the stuff, and get rewired, okay? So, Karen has the little, like, pow! It's like a cartoon, pow! Like, got punched, right? Alright, so that's it. Can you believe it? 30 minutes. I did it. I actually didn't have a goal of anything, but I've been talking an hour every time I've gotten on. So I do want to mention for those of you. So, anyways, back to let me wrap up. The second half Spark School again is just 7.5 more hours, open for enrollment. Don't be scared. There's a 60-day money back guarantee. If you do the work, you go through the 6 modules, you attend the coaching calls or the replays because do a replay if you can't make it. And you do that and you think, I'm the same. I didn't get any results. It's not what I thought. You will get a full refund. So I say the only thing you have to lose is the baggage that's up here, right? Because that is way worth more. I mean, my students have said time and time again, I would have paid more. It was so worth it. And so just think about that. You can't see it and your brain can't see it because it's an unknown and it is like, oh my gosh, that is a risk. That's what we think. But if you did the videos, you'll know in this life, we have to have faith. If we want the life that is available to us, we have to have faith. We have to believe it's on its way to us. and you have to get over your fear in order to do that. And so, my heart goes out to you because I've had fear signing up and spending money on an online course that, I didn't know what the results were gonna be, but I can promise you this, I would not be here today if I hadn't made that investment, and that investment was twice as much as the second half Spark School, and it was a business course. It wasn't even like, it didn't even touch on the mindset. And so I needed that, and I didn't get it, but I will say every step leads you to the next step, and that step led me to go to an event, and at that event, sitting in that event, I had an idea. The seed of the idea that ultimately became the thing that gives me life every day, the thing that lights me up, my purpose. And so you just have to take the step in faith that will plant the seed. And I promise you, the second half Spark School is a great step for that. All right. And so the people in the Facebook training, we are not done. I the training will close. So I think Karen or someone told me this, is that or maybe it was Laura, one of my other, mentors in the past, but sh buzzed through it only takes a couple, maybe 2.5 hours to get through all the videos. A couple of videos are, like, 15 minutes. I think the shortest one's 13 minutes. I think one's 20 minutes, one's 25 minutes, and all the others are less than. And so you can move through them quickly. So I want you to make sure that that's a priority if you're in the Facebook group and you have access to that training. And if you do all the assignments, all 7 of the assignments, you will be eligible to win prizes. And so the prizes, and I haven't mentioned what the prizes are because one of the reasons I don't do that is because I want you to know there's prizes, but I don't want the prizes to be the only reason why you do or don't do the training. And so there's a little bit of psychology there that, the prize people tend to be driven. Uh and the non-prize people, not so much. And so, it's just prizes. No big deal. I do prizes because I like to reward people for doing the work. Whether you're uh, enjoy getting a prize or not, I just like to reward you for doing the work. And so that's kind of my whole reason that I like to give out prizes. So the prizes for you, and I'll announce them on Saturday. So in 2 days, I'll go back live inside the Facebook group and we're going to go over the workbook answers because been a workbook that's accompanied the training. So I'll share the workbook answers so you have all those answers before we close down the group. And the prizes there's 3 prizes. The 3rd prize is a journal. It's a journal, I don't have it handy. It's a journal that I love. It's compact in size. I love it because it's compact and it's beautiful. It's hardback, and I like to give it away as a prize because it's something I use and it's great for journaling. And journaling is something that you should do because it helps open up that connection to the good whispers that you want, the heart whispers. Prize 2 is a box of energy oracle cards. And if you don't know what energy oracle cards are, they are amazing. I love them. They are a great way. They're all beautiful and they're all the card deck I like. It's by Ann Taylor, I think is her name. But they're beautifully they look like paintings you'd find in a museum. They're just, like, on cards, and then a little book comes with it and tells you how to do it, and then there's a little booklet that has, like, what that card means. And what I love to use these cards for is that I used to use them all the time to inspire me for what I was gonna talk about on my podcast. But I started pulling them in coaching calls actually because it's really cool. You will not believe how much a card pull is exactly what you need to hear. It's like you're attuned energy-wise to your soul. And so when these cards are a way for you to get the intuition, that they're like intuitive prompts for you. So the card description, it's like you could ask yourself a question like, what do I need to hear today? Or in my case, what does my student need to hear from me today? What message does my student need to hear? Or what message do my trainees need to hear? Um, or what should I look forward to? Um, how can what do I need to know to blankety blank blank? So, I just kind of ask this open-ended question and see what message comes in. And it's funny because these messages can uh connect to individuals in different ways. Everybody has their unique life they're living. And so a message might read the same. If I'm reading it, it means something to me. And so the words are the same words to everybody, but it's interpreted by each individual differently. And so I love it because your intuition, what you need to hear, is going to pick up the message you need to hear. And so these energy oracle cards are a really powerful tool, and they're fun. They're really fun to play with. So it might be something that you would just want to do in the morning, or once a week, or however much you want to do it. All right. So, and I think they're especially helpful when you're in a just self-discovery mode, when you're looking for guidance and answers, and you're open about what you might receive. I think it's a really a great, fun thing to do. And then the last thing, and I will say 2nd place gets the journal too. So 1st place gets a journal. I mean, 3rd place gets a journal. 2nd place gets the energy oracle cards and the journal. And the 1st place gets the brain sparking audio bundle package that is the purpose driven affirmations and the visualization. So you'll get that, and also the energy oracle cards and the journal. So I will be doing the drawing for all of the people who went through all seven of the videos and did you have to prove to me that you went through all 7 by doing all the assignments. All right? So if you haven't done the assignments and have gone through all the videos, please go back and do all the assignments. Make sure they're done. And then you'll be in the drawing and you might get one of the prizes. All right? All right, so that's it. 40 minutes. I'm done. It's a wrap. But uh let's see, how many hours now? A little less than 7.5. Last call. Last call for the second half Spark School. All right. I hope I see you on the inside. Bye.